him, he went home, and we didn't get it till the next visit. So that's not a 15-minute picture. This here chick here is, I met her at a garage sale. She was having a garage sale. She'd lost her home, lost her job, couldn't work anymore. And I looked around a little bit, you know, and in the corner of the garage, there must have been 50 green oxygen bottles standing up in the corner of this garage. So after I got done looking around, I went out where she was sitting by this picnic table, and I said, well, what's going on with you anyhow? She said, well, she says, I got pulmonary fibrosis. She says, my lungs are hardening up and I can't get enough oxygen. And I said, well, what are they doing for you? She said, well, they got me on steroids. They told me I'll never get off of them. I said, well, it sounds to me like you need some bee stings. So we started to sting her that day. It's probably been 4.5 years ago. And she hasn't been doing nothing except out there living since then. I don't think we had 20 stings into her lungs in a week and a half, and she got away from them steroids and never gone back on them. I mean, this is what you can do when you let the girls kick your butt. I mean, granted, you're going to have some pain for 10 minutes, but you know, in relation to the alternative, I mean, there's a lot of choices out there to be made, and they're all yours.
Don, when you sting somebody like this, do you let them get the full venom load? Do you hold the bee on there and let the venom sac pump until it's empty, or how long do you hold them on?
We leave them on there 15 minutes. All of them. Now, she's had thousands of stings since then. But, I mean, you know, the first thing she did was get away from the steroids. And, I mean, she's been to Chicago spoiling grandkids. She's been to Washington, D.C. for a wedding. I mean, she's been out there living. She really has.
What about the oxygen? Is she still on it full time?
Well, yes and no. She's still on it. She used to be on straight oxygen. Now she's on pulse oxygen. You know, it pulses on and off with the breathing. So she's using half as much oxygen. She's got a higher oxygen level in her body all the way around. Not to mention anything about the quality of life. And, you know, she'll come out there, she's out there at least no less than 2 days a week. And she's out there catching bees. And I do mean catching bees. She catches a lot of bees. And I'm down here in Arizona, and these patients, when I'm gone, have got to step up to the plate and dig in and help. And I love to get out of there and give these people the opportunity to step up to the plate and dig in and help. Like I said, I'm about teaching gals how to fish, not giving them a fish. Everything we do is about teaching them how to fish. She has done so well. In fact, this year, since we've got her going on some iodine and vitamin C too, she has been out in a lot more adverse weather this year than what she was in previous years. So, you know, it hasn't cramped her style as much as what it used to. I think that might be the last one on this. No, I lied. That's Miss Ellie there, in her bee-bus mission. She put that in there. That's taken out in Missouri. She put it in there for me. Like I said, I consider myself truly blessed having these kind of people in my life to teach me, nourish me, feed me with their knowledge. And she's got so much to give and so much to share that what I'd really love to get her to help me with is making a fuel cell. I would love to have a fuel cell. And I know that chick could help me do it. She's got the moxie to help me get the job done. At 5 years old, she was reading Einstein in New York Library. If her mother didn't know where she was at, she would call the New York Library, and that's where they would find her. And the stories that she told me, her mother had one of these fancy mechanical clocks, you know, it had all these moving parts and did all these fancy things, you know. And this got Ellie's undivided attention. And being the mechanical genius that she is, she had to find out how this thing worked, you know. So she took that thing apart all by herself. She figured out the window of time that she had to work on this clock, you know, to tear it apart and put it back together. But she just didn't quite get it perfect, you know. There was some little flaw in it. It didn't work quite perfect the way it used to. So her father, with the wisdom of Solomon, took her and the clock to this clocksmith in New York and told this clocksmith that I want you to take this clock apart and right in front of her and put it back together. And she's got to watch everything you're doing because she has to know how to do it. And this is one of the many, many things that her mother and father did to keep from stifling this brain. Yes?
Do you test for anaphylactic shock in any way when you have first experience
I'm not hearing you.
character come in? Customer, do you test for anaphylactic shock in some way?
I don't have her address. She's on the move. Right now she's in Raleigh, North Carolina. She's got an email she's got a website that she's on top of, you know, for Lyme's disease. It's a Lyme's disease website that she manages, just like Dee manages Organic Beekeepers.
Her question was different. What she wanted to know is, before you start stinging someone, do you have any way, or do you test them for anaphylactic shock to make sure?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Everybody, especially beekeepers. You know, a lot of these beekeepers go out there dressed up so doggone well that they look like spacemen and never get stung. So this is, especially beekeepers, they're going to get a testing. Yes?
How do you test? What's the method of knowing you're doing what you have to do?
Well, we take one of those bees and we plant a sting on them. We can use, I like to go in the torso, I don't like to go in the extremities as much. But we'll only leave it in there a couple of seconds and take it out. Then we let them sit around for 45 minutes, make sure they don't have a problem. And then we'll give them a full sting. That's how we do it. Now, in 24 years, I've been stinging people for 24 years this weekend. and it's been the happiest 24 years of my life, stinging people. Not because I'm into pain, but I'm into miracles. And when you see people out there living and getting their life back together, we're into miracles. We really are. And there's a problem with miracles. I don't know if you're aware of it or not, but there is a real issue with miracles. And I don't care if you are experiencing one, or the person way back in the corner or over there is experiencing one. The problem is they're contagious. And everybody is experiencing them because they are truly contagious. The miracles that I have been around and been a part of and had the privilege of working with and seeing firsthand, I wouldn't want to part with these memories for nothing in the last 24 years. Absolutely would not. Like I told you before, I'm not a smart guy, I'm a dumb guy. But I guarantee you that these patients will teach you everything that you need to know. Everything. Don't be afraid to reach out to that person on the left or the right or the couple out in front or even the one that's sharing your bed. But I got to add to here that it don't get any more hardcore than that. The one that's sharing your bed. Yes.
I got a question from somebody on Facebook. I'll just let you read it because I don't understand it.
Are you sure I can read?
Can you?
I don't know. This one here?
Right here. I'd like to hear how he handles venom sensitivity without it. That's just someone else distracted me during his explanation. It involves ice, but that's all I heard.
I have epinephrine. I bought these vials out of Canada. I bought 10 vials, about 1 milliliter little glass vials. And then we use an insulin syringe that someone gave us. I probably got 100 of them around there. But I absolutely do not even want to use that. I can do better and faster, cheaper and safer with nothing but ice. Now, out of 24 years, I've had 3 people, I do believe, maybe 4, no more than that I couldn't get the job done with ice. Well, I did, but you know, it wasn't pushing it over the edge. 2 of them took them to the swimming pool. Get in. Don't take 5 minutes in that swimming pool and they're coming out and it's all over with.
So this is a swimming pool full of ice?
Huh?
Is a swimming pool full of ice?
No.
It's just a swimming
No.
I don't know what.
Spring or fall, you know, I mean, more likely the fall.
Just cold.
Well, it isn't 70 degrees, I can tell you that. But 5 minutes or less, and that is over. Totally. And it don't come back. I've had 2 people that have had to do that. One time I threw a guy in the shower. But that's it. I've had people that I've hauled off to the hospital, and every cotton picking one of them was a mistake, without exception. But you know, sometimes due to circumstances, you can't do what you would like to do. Like when my wife is around, you know, my wife is the in-charge person, and guess what? You can't do what you would like to do. Some things you have to accept. I don't agree, but some of these things you got to accept for what they are. more questions and stuff, I got more things here that I can show you. I've got ones here on hand cream if you're interested in that. And, let's see here, where's my pointer?
It's up in the top.
Come on.
It's in the top right.
Oh, there we go. Thank you. My grandkids shot these videos, so they're not perfect. We make this hand cream with cold pressed sesame seed oil. I've made it with all kinds of oil, corn oil, vegetable oil, the sesame seed oil that you buy out of the grocery store. That was probably the worst one I ever used. The sesame seed oil in the grocery store is, they heat up the residue from the first pressing and make the second pressing, and that residue smells like peanuts. It stinks, and there's nothing you can do to cover it. You can put a full ounce of lavender with it, and it still smells like peanuts.
We haven't got to MMS yet.
Oh.
Okay.
I get the grandkids to help me when I'm doing this, or other help. It takes a minimum of 2 people.
Well,
I said I'm a junkie. Some of the stuff here that, this thing right here, this little wooden frame, well, it's permanent, not, you know, like a countertop. It was a piece of countertop I found laying out on the curb lawn. I come home, brought it, cut it up, and used that.
is this pass?
We buy these jars here by the thousand. I think last time I bought about 20,000 jars. And I supply a lot of other beekeepers that I encourage
We
to
need to get out of the sticks.
make this stuff up. Because, you know, it's just a question of how much money you want to leave on the table in this case. And I will put this hand cream up against anything out there except one that uses more beeswax than what this recipe here has. That's a stick right there, electric stick, and that, I used to use a whisk, but that electric stick, you can't run them continuous, you'll burn them up. But it does a beautiful job of putting this all together. And then you can see this little black piece of electrical tape. Some electrician has that stuff around, you know, and I put that stuff on that corner there to funnel it
So
down
you can get this too.
to where you're pouring out of the smaller corner. Just a little bitty thing. This is a digital thermometer there. We usually start putting it together at about 165, and we start pouring it into about 50 or 55 jars at about 145. The lavender is the last thing that goes into it.
Alright, now. If there's anything left down here.
And then 160.5.
What percentage of bee venom is in there?
Pardon?
What percentage of bee venom is in there?
Not bee venom, beeswax.
Oh, there's no bee venom in it at all?
I'm going to make one that has bee venom in it. That's another long story.
How do you get a bulk bee venom?
Huh?
How do you get bulk bee venom? You shock it out of them?
Yes, we use a venom collector to.
Oh, so there is a machine someone manufactured somewhere
I think
Yeah.
it's electrical, there's got to be British Columbia. Michael Sinner,
I've got one. I had it last year, but my wife was told to keep her hands off of it. And she always does what she's told. Anyhow, she is the best wife in the world, but
Is that her right there?
but she's got a short memory, you know, and she'll put this stuff away, and a day later, you'll ask her where she put it, and you get this, I don't know. Well, yeah, this is what she did with my venom collector.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You should sting her.
No, she just didn't leave it alone, you know, she had to move it, and then not remember where the hell she
Yeah,
put
I
it.
know the same thing.
So, this is, just one of the little crosses of life, you
Yeah,
know.
that's, yeah. we
And
all
you gotta
go through
accept it just like it is,
To
because
some extent or another, we all, yeah.
that there is what you're looking at is almost right around a gallon and a half of hand cream.
Don, what are the ingredients?
Huh?
Sesame oil, beeswax, and
The recipe is
You don't need to shoot all of that.
3 ounces of sesame seed oil. But like I said, I've used all kinds of oil. I think there's another one here on, oh, you gotta get this doggone thing out of here. Look. I think this one here is hand cream too. But I think, yeah, this here shows us.
Must be really hot.
This here, we're pouring it into the,
Okay, we got 3 ounces of oil.
3 ounces of oil, 2 ounces of Propus tea, 2
Sunshine, we want to get a few pictures of our
ounces of Propus tea.
silhouette.
I am using distilled water, and I'm putting 1 ounce of Propus tincture we're making into that batch. To make Propus tea. And then we're using 1 ounce of beeswax. Those would be beeswax.
Then a splash
And-
goes in. We don't want that. Makes a mess.
Then it has
More work.
the equivalent of 5 drops of lavender oil
She don't need any more work.
to a 4 ounce jar.
Got enough.
And what I do is I just multiply that recipe up,
Right.
you know, like 6 ounces, 8 ounces, or 6 ounces, 12 ounces, 18 ounces, 24 ounces, until I get to the level I want to work. And then I adjust the other ingredients. The only other ingredient is borax. There's a half a teaspoon of borax to the 6 ounces. So you gotta multiply that borax up too, you know.
Half a teaspoon of borax to what? To how much?
6 ounces?
To the 6 ounces.
The jar?
So when you double it to 12 ounces, you got a teaspoon of borax. You go to 24 ounces, you got 2 teaspoons of borax. You know, you just. Pardon?
Level or rounded teaspoons? Is it level teaspoons or
Yeah,
is it a
level.
scoop?
Level.
Level.
So that would also be 5 drops of lavender to the 6 ounce jar too.
Well, no, what I do with the lavender is, when you decide however big a batch you want to make, I divide however many ounces there is by 4 to decide how many 4 ounce jars. Say like there's 20, then that's just off the top of my head.
Right.
So 20 times 5 will give you the drops of lavender.
So you won't 5 drops in each jar.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, I got it.
yeah,
Each 4-ounce
That's a
jar.
good system.
yeah. But, you know, you won't want to start out making a gallon and a half, you know, you gotta start small and work up.
Yeah.
Don, what is it in Bee Meadow that actually has the healing property?
Pardon?
What is it in Bee Meadow that has the healing property? What's the, do you know anything about the chemical components?
You know,
or-
24 years ago when I started seeing people, I found out, they told us that there's 40 known components in it. And now, they tell us that there's over 70. And I don't know if there's more than that.
Pelican, the first one, keep them in, or big. And
There's a lot of, it has 2 of the world's strongest anti-inflammatory agents known to man. Stronger. Doctors have to work with them. There's just nothing wicked about and
That's a work, because I'm not.
there's no limit what these girls
Green
can
up
do.
Christmas,
They
stretch
want
marks.
to do it. Yeah. The borax is a mineral, and we're all about minerals. You just can't take that. One of the things, I got mineral, I got a shelf this long, it's nothing but different kinds of mineral on it. And I made up my mind here,
Okay, so did you bring any? The question is, did you bring any of the swell stuff?
huh?
Did you bring any of the swell stuff?
I got a little of it with me, not a whole lot,
Okay.
but I gotta get this out of here.
Plug it
Hey,
in.
Don, if you were gonna put venom in that mixture, how would you divide that in? How much would you?
Well, I can tell you one thing, I'm not gonna do it, I'm not gonna do it like I did with the mineral. When I made up my mind that I was gonna put this mineral in there,
You need to wrap up now, because it's going for 4:30.
yeah, I know, I'm shutting her down. I made up my mind I was gonna put this mineral in there. And, I put in 1 ounce of mineral to 240 ounces of hand cream. And it was like I was making soap. This hand cream set up so fast that I could not even get I couldn't even get it into jars fast enough. It was setting up. So the very next batch, I backed down to a half of an ounce to 240 ounces. It was still too much. So then I backed all the way down to 10 drops. Put 10 drops in to 240 ounces of hand cream. Then I went to 20 drops, then 30, then 40. Now I'm up to where I'm putting the equivalent of 1 drop of mineral to 240 ounces of hand cream. And venom, when I put that venom in there, I'm going to err on the side of caution too. But we're all about working on the largest part of the body, which is your skin. And there's just no limit of what you can't do if you want to do it.
So do you think 1 ounce per 1 drop per 4 ounce jar would be enough?
I don't know. But I know one thing. Oh, we gotta get this out here. I hope I didn't bore you to tears.
Not at all.
Not at all, no, this is very good, thank you.
Well, apitherapy is one of these things that it really offends a lot of people. But for those that want to get involved and do something with it, there just isn't any limit of what you can't do with it if you want to do it. Well,
Get that jar right there.
if there's more questions, I will gladly answer all of them. Right this minute, I do need to run, or I will be late for mass.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
John, could you give us some information on how we can find you?
How do you find us? You got the internet?
Where you go?
Check out the other Well, sure, I'll be here next evening.
He's coming back.
I'll do that.
So I know, I already know it works. I will. Thank you very much, I appreciate your time.
We don't ever work these stuff.
Yeah.